Yeah, thank you very much, Dominica, and to all the organizer, Lisa, and everyone who is connected today to this very important Unite 2030 Earth Summit. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and what I'm going to have a conversation with you on is actually the realities of climate action under the COVID-19 and the lessons that can actually be leveraged to build a very strong Africa. We know the world is interconnected. A challenge in one part of the world will definitely have repercussions in other parts of the world. And if we were to go by that, COVID-19 pandemic is an example of how interconnected and intricately linked our destinies and our development and fabric of development is interconnected. For tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. It is an African proverb. And what this African proverb tells us is that whenever one thinks of prosperity, especially when I think of prosperity, it centers around the Sustainable Development Goal. A prosperous promise by the Sustainable Development Goals, the intent we all know was to ensure that no child should go to bed hungry. The intent we all know was to ensure that no youth suffers poverty or bury his or herself under the Mediterranean Sea in search of greener pastures elsewhere. Well, the intent of the Sustainable Development Goal we know was to ensure that no mother should ever be unable to go to bed with a stomach aching of hunger or not be able to clothe her child. The intent was to ensure that no parent is unable to send his or her child to school, and that no development occurs at the expense of the environment. So our gathering here today is we're discussing climate action, but within the context of all the Sustainable Development Goals. And under these auspices here of the Unite 2030 Earth Summit, it's a special reminder because it's happening at a time that we've never ever been in times like these after the Second World War. So I say today is special for two reasons. And the first is that this 2020 in which we are in marks the start of the decade of action, the start of the final 10 years to be able to drive the Sustainable Development Goal to ensure no one is left behind. And the second aspect, which is quite very, very important, is that we are racing against time. We are doing so under the most unpredictable and unprecedented times that we've ever lived at. At the beginning of the year, in many parts of the world, and in the case of the African continent, about 5 months ago, who could have thought that we will be having this conference under a lockdown? These realities are with us here today. The writing, therefore, is on the wall. We have a race to beat in these uncertain and unpredictable times of modern history. Then should not only be about to complain, but the self-reflection should be to help us to regroup, to strategize, and relaunch stronger, because we are at the time which I would ascribe it to, the dance has changed. So when the drum beat changes, the dance must change. The dance must change with the music. That meaning that business as usual approaches will not take us through this. It means that when you take the case of the African continent today, what we are seeing is there needs to be a reformulation of not only how climate action needs to be taken, but also how development needs to be done. And that means dependency needs to be thrown out of the window. That means the money first approach that have existed for quite a very long time needs to be thrown out of the window. That means that aspect of always thinking me, individualism will not cut through and will not help us in ensuring that we can be able to drive development in a climate resilient way. We need nothing short of a united call for collectivism. Me attitude cannot help drive climate action. We need inspiration. We need to inspire people so that they can unleash their creativity and innovations. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I've talked about COVID-19, and I said that my discussion in this 10 minutes or so was going to be how do we reimagine climate action within the realities in which we're living in today. If you take the case of the African continent today, as well as the rest of the globe, but I'm focusing within the African continent, but it also have repercussions in other parts of the world. Impact of the COVID-19 is far worse than the inconveniences we're grappling with, especially in the African continent. If you take the global economy, is facing the worst projections since World War II in the African continent, a projected 1.4% decline in gross domestic product, up to about 29 billion for the entire continent is reported to happen. And this is coming with job losses and affecting a continent that have over 60% of the entire population, mostly in rural areas. And we're talking about informal sector that actually create up to about 80% of the jobs in sub-Saharan African region. And just as the child of the crab walks sideways like its mother, this is an African proverb. The COVID-19 pandemic represents yet another daunting challenge, compounding challenges of poverty, challenges of food insecurity, challenges of youth unemployment, and the list goes on. But let's face it, even as the attention is now on COVID-19, it is one among many critical threats to the Sustainable Development Goals and the climate action that we keep talking about most of the time. Did you know that in the African continent, 257 million people go to bed hungry? Today, you know, those are the number of people that go to bed with their stomach aching of hunger. Did you know that each and every year, up to about 13 million youth get into the labor market to compete only with 3 million jobs? Today, you know. Did you know climate change is not only redefining the contours of the entire African continent, but is going to lower incomes by up to about 75%? Today, you know. And therefore, we need to answer two fundamental questions. And the first question is, how can we reimagine and reorganize and redesign Africa's development under the changing climate and the unsettling realities of this post-COVID-19 or COVID-19 that we know? And the second one is, how do we rebuild better, considering the past missteps of the African continent? If we discuss only symptoms, we might end up getting excited about symptoms, but the reality is that we're not discussing causes when it comes to some of the aspects that needs to be leveraged to drive climate change in the continent. And I always use this proverb most of the time, that do not look at where you fell, but look at where you sleep. Why is it that in the continent today, 2020, we have 257 million citizens going to bed hungry? Why in a continent that have 65% of uncultivated arable land, in a continent that have 365 days of sunshine, but having 620 million citizens energy impoverished, unacceptable by any standard? Why is Africa's development record always check out with missteps and half steps? Before you add in the aspect of the changing climate is only helping to exacerbate this. I remember, and I know, and I've read this when I was still starting in my career, about 5 to 10 years ago, Africa was the darling of every economic pundit out there. So loved was the continent that the term Africa Rising was coined about to sustain a narrative, which today the narrative is limping, or the continent is limping. The continent is no longer rising anymore, and there's no discussion about that. Why this is so must be answered. If the promise of the Sustainable Development Goals and climate action can actually take center stage in the continent. The point I am making is that the reasons we have these challenges today are because we've not focused on leveraging on people's skills and talents. We focus on materialism. And that has actually not taken into account what I call the sovereign capital of the continent. We cannot then be able to ignore the energies, the talent, the passion, especially of the 60% of the youth that makes up the entire continent. We neglected them such that their innate abilities, their energies, their talent, their creativity actually goes to waste. But we know every adversity carries with it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. And therefore, the changing climate and the food insecurity crisis that we face in the continent, the post-harvest losses that are costing the continent $48 billion US, the youth that get into the labor market, about 30 million of them competing with fewer jobs, we can actually be able to find solutions to this. And I have 4 points to leave you with. The first is, we can no longer discuss climate change as a silo obligation. We cannot discuss climate change as a silo obligation. We must discuss it from an enterprise perspective, because a mother in a village in Turkana or in the northwestern part of Cameroon or in southeastern Nigeria or in northern Togo or in the southern part of Zambia do not understand the grammar we use all the time. We must then be able to make meaning by showing that climate action is a socio-economic opportunity. How can you help a mother in a village who loses her vegetables because you do not have a solar dryer to dry it so that it can be able to have a longer lifespan? How can you be able to tell a mother that you can be able to dry your cassava, and as a result of drying it is not going to get spoiled and you reduce post-harvest losses? That aspect must be looked into. And this is summed up in an African proverb that rain beats a leopard skin, but it does not wash away the white spot. If rain falls on a leopard, it doesn't wash away the white spot. That means fundamentals are important, and fundamentals of poverty, food insecurity should be what we should be able to leverage climate action solution to address those fundamental challenges. And that takes me to my second point, which is, if you look at the realities in the world today, and let's face it and let's be realistic, we will not be, the continent of Africa need $1.2 billion US each and every year to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. Every year. And on top of that, what Africa submitted to the world during the Paris Climate Change Agreement in 2015, what is called the nationally determined contributions. An analysis was done, and the continent needs over $3 trillion US to be able to implement all of those. But when you look at the entire GDP of the continent is not up to those amounts. So where will the money come from? That's a very practical question that needs to be asked in the minds of each and everyone. Let's not fool ourselves. Let's be realistic. And therefore, we need then to ensure that the continent leverages low-risk, accessible financing structures, innovative financing. But if you look across the narrative, most of the time, the mainstream narrative, the discussion of Africa's financial scene is dominated sometimes by commercial banks. But who talks about the cooperatives? In every community across the entire African continent, there are cooperatives. If we leverage on those cooperatives that builds on social capital, on trust, co-creation of value can happen. And this is already happening across the continent. For example, in Uganda, we're working with cooperatives in the Buganda Kingdom, where they're actually engaging young people to not only develop briquettes and solar dryers, and they are leveraging these financial infrastructure that are within the cultural fabric of society to drive climate action. We need to think local, even as we think global. And that takes me to my third point, which I touched. When you ignore people's skills and talents, you cannot drive sustainable development. It's people that drive transformation. It's not material. And therefore, without retooling our youth skills to be able to be relevant, and I've made this argument all the time, if you give $500 trillion US, you bring it to the continent today, the SDGs and climate action will still not happen. We have the requisite skills. Do we have it? And are we tailoring those skills towards ensuring that climate action can happen? But when you look across the continent, youth are being inspired. They're developing solar dryers and decentralizing these to help mothers in villages. We're seeing youth who are developing briquettes. It means that those innovative ideas, we do not lack innovative ideas. That's what I call it the 5 I's. Africa doesn't lack ideas. Africa doesn't lack innovations. What is missing is the 3 I's. It lacks incentives to inspire people to action. It lacks institutions. Sometimes the institution exists, they don't work for the purposes in which they're supposed to do. And it lacks an inclusive framework. That takes me to the fourth point, which to me is the most important, selflessness. If anyone's actions are not to drive transformational development, are only to focus on benefiting him or her, he or she cannot be able to drive meaningful transformational change. We must all become selfless. Without selflessness to embrace one another, we cannot be able to have a common vision. And therefore, each and every one must be able to develop a vision that touches others' lives. That's how we can drive the Sustainable Development Goals, doing something to ensure that a mother doesn't go to bed with her stomach aching of hunger, that a child is not buried because he or she lacks the requisite nutritious food. And therefore, we need an on-borrowed vision. And that on-borrowed vision to bring our skills and talents together and focus in turning challenges into opportunities. And that's the essence of what I call innovative volunteerism, that we can bring our skills. and willingly engage young people to use their skills and talent to drive change. And that takes me to my last point. There is always this question of talking about who is a leader and who is not a leader. Leadership is personal responsibility. The first person to lead is yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, you cannot lead. And because we have forgotten that we need to, first of all, lead ourselves to do what is right. And leadership is not about things. Leadership is not about titles. It's not about position. You do not need a position to be a leader. And therefore, we cannot continuously deflect responsibility for sustainable development goal and climate action to government. Of course, governments have to play their role. But if you look at what is happening today, you and me constitute the biggest non-state actors that can actually be able, ordinary citizens, you and me, can do extraordinary things. And we were already seeing this across the entire world. And I know that there can always be a question sometimes asked, how? By already using enabling powers. If you look across the entire African continent, which I must give credit to, Africa is the only continent in the entire world that ratify 95% of their nationally determined contribution faster than any other continent. Those are facts. That means each and every country have now ratified this, and this has become law. Why are you waiting for government to act to be able to produce briquettes that can be able to reduce mothers from depending on charcoal that are impacting their health? Get out there, start turning waste to wealth. Why are you waiting without thinking government has to do it for you when you can go out there, get to retool your skill to fabricate a solar dryer? These realities can happen and they're happening, but we need to bring that to scale. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, let us lead ourselves to become solution providers in driving climate action by becoming selfless, by retooling our skills and giving our best to drive transformational change. And that is the only way we can make sure that challenges can be turned into opportunities. Thank you.
We have one question here for Dr. Richard before we move to another session. The question says, will the actions we take today be enough to forestall the direct impact of climate change, or is it too little, too late? Dr. Richard.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Every action matters, and the best way to drive action is to be positive. The reality is that the pace at which the world is moving, if the world was to continue at this pace, what the latest science is showing is the world will go above the 2 degrees dangerous temperature. But the world needs to reduce these emissions every year by 7.8% till 2030. But that's not happening. But what needs to happen is that even if the emissions were reduced to below 2 degrees, continents like Africa will still face huge challenges. Because I've said the biggest vulnerability that the world faces today, especially Africa, is socio-economic. Let me just give an example. We know of Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Idai that hit Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi and killed over 1,000 people and destroyed property. Lives lost anywhere are predictable and should not happen. The point I'm trying to make is that if you look in, for example, like the United States as compared to the continent. And in the continent, for example, if you give signals that there is going to be flooding, where will people move to? And do they have the resources to be able even to be moved from where they are? So low levels of socioeconomic development actually contribute to this. So to answer your question broadly is, in as much as the world is not moving at a speed to reduce climate action, but it also presents an opportunity, because climate change needs to be seen as a business investment opportunity, where renewable energy that is actually very cheap today, and in any ratified document in countries have that integrated into it, that's a business opportunity. But we cannot always talk climate change from the perspective, oh, the world is coming to an end, without also talking about the economic opportunity that it presents. Hence, it's not all doom and gloom. you can change it. And I think, as the other speaker indicated, me and you have to take action. And taking action without sitting and blaming only government is the best way to be able to move forward.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Richard.